I guess it's not happening tonight. At least hasn't happened yet. Let's start with the daily chart and kind of review the past, and maybe we can reveal the future. Especially the reveal the future is not what the investors will do, but we'll try to reveal the future, what the market makers or those that control the market will do, where they will take the market. At least the way I believe it from recent information is that exactly how it's going. You know, with everything that's happening in the country, I wouldn't be surprised. Joe, you guys know who I'm referring to, the president of United States, got the office by surprise, created votes from thin air, and right now runs the country. So the president, since he can be achieved that way, why not the crypto be ran by who knows who? That is just a thought. Think about it. We all complain we need regulations, but if the people in the office cannot regulate themselves, how can they regulate something for us? They're definitely not going to regulate it for us. They'll regulate that for their benefit. Show me at least one politician that does not have stocks and his stocks portfolio not in millions. Unless he's an honest politician. You guys know on some of the politicians, their financials are open and you know how big their portfolios are. It'll be enough not just for them, but for 10 generations to go. But I'm not here for that. Let's talk about crypto. So at one point in a time, we did hit in April 65,000 a coin, a Bitcoin. As I have revealed to you guys the last time, and let's go back and look at it one more time. Here we have huge volumes of money coming in with little amount of orders per day. Again, again, again. And if we go back, we'll see one right here. So what if I actually took this graph and removed these days and align the following candle with the day of previous following candle? I'm pretty sure we would probably drop that 65 to probably 35, maybe 30, maybe even 30, yeah. Then I would have to give back these candles where they actually forcefully reduce the market back. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles on this side. That's on the side of the bullish, where we kept on growing to the top. We will be probably back around 48.50. Now, let's move forward. What exactly they tried to achieve by running when we hit 64 or 65, running market in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, 6. 6 candles down. So let's say we take this and we bring about here. Now, I'll actually do this. We'll go in measurement. So that's about 14,000. Sorry. 22,000, 2,500, so 14, 16,000. Now I think I should be able to do this. 16,000. Why? What's going on? And that's 7,000, so 23,000. 3,000, so 26,000. That's another 7,000, so 26, 33,000. We're going to subtract this candle. That's 4,000, so 43,000 minus 4, that's 29. That's another 4, so 29, 33. And we'll do this like this. That's 1,000. So 44,000. So if we add 35, where are we at right now? Actually, 33 where we at. Plus 45. We would be at 78,000. Minus the difference, roughly I estimated we were about 15,000. We'll be roughly around right now at 63,000. So the question is, why and who wanted bring us down to 63,000 to 33,000 instead of 63,000? That question, I have a suspicion, but I do not know. As you guys do remember, when somebody got in the office, the Bitcoin was still flourishing. It actually took January 8th, I believe it was the event in DC that happened with Trump and we started having issues. In May, we started dropping. I kind of wonder who is behind. I definitely don't believe it's the public or the MAGA, but there is definitely some feeling of someone behind that might be also interested in Trump being a president and creating this wave. But again, it's a thinking out loud. They have no evidence to support any of that. But I did actually show you guys where we should have been if their involvement would have not been involved in what we have right now. So a lot of people looking at chart and they're like, oh, this supposed to happen, that's supposed to happen, we're going up, we're going to be at this and that number, or we're going to be in this and that number. I personally can only go by feeling. Can actually symbols on a chart, can actually certain patterns on the chart actually reveal the future? I agree so, because those things has been designed and built for many years. But now, who would say that market makers are not the one actually using the symbols themselves to spread the message between themselves? So there might be some truth to all that. But I'm going to look at the basics and some of the things I already shared with you guys here on this channel. We have this newly developed channel that for the last, I don't know what, 10, 12, 14 days, the coin actually been quite faithful within. The last opening, which actually have this coin traveled within this area, and it has bounced from here. Let's go to a smaller time frame, and this is actually the opening where the coin's starting to reverse back. Wow, it's actually reversed quite a bit. But as we look at this 4-hour chart, we see this candle being pink. So what exactly does it reveal? It reveals that we have a mix of market money as well as people's money in it. See, for some reason, as I look on these candles, I see more of these red candles than green. I only see one green candle within this channel, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7.5 candles that actually bearish candles. If you would remove these bearish candles where they had their hand in it, we would actually have an uptrending tunnel. But instead, we're having a downtrending tunnel. So what exactly do they want? Are they punishing us for certain somebody not ending up in office? Are they punishing us for the January 8th, if I'm not mistaken, with the date and the event? What exactly the message they're trying to send us? But one thing for sure, they keep pushing this down. Some people say, oh, we got a trend here. And we're just hitting the trend. Some people say, no, we already jumped out of a trend. And of course, if I run the line where I had it yesterday, we actually broke that line. And I'll actually put it up so we don't have to say, oh, there was a line. Let's put it up. We can correct that line, up or down, however you guys feel it's the correct way to be. But no matter how you adjust it, we are breaking this trend in this area. The trend has been broken. Let's say even if we go back to here and we pick the lowest candle, then we did hit that resistance today, but we have not broken it yet. Which line is more accurate? I cannot say, but one thing I can for surely say is we might be hitting this tunnel, which, as Tom says, it's closing in, or we might this triangle, or we might be working with this tunnel. Is just they decided not to break through it yet. But whatever it is interesting, and this candle seems like it's starting to reverse, going down again. It's a red candle at this point. I would like to see actually what happens next, but I do have a feeling that today, in a week, in a month, or in a fall, but it's happening soon. As I already mentioned a few things in the previous video, Tom has been saying there's certain signs of certain patterns in candles that do show all markets collapsing. At least the three main markets that we know of, that is stock market, that is the commodity market, and crypto market. And I actually have a simple question. Is this happening tomorrow? Or it will be held for the fall? So all three fall at the same time. Or we might actually have another possibility. We experience a certain fall right now. We have a recovery to a certain point as well. And then we have a second hit with all markets falling as one. And then it becomes a trial. Who out of the three will survive? Who is the strongest out of the three? What if none of them survive? What if none of them survive the battle? And then the final question, will we survive the battle? Let me ask you a simple question for you to think about. What if stock market drops 70%? Can the major corporations that are being traded on the stock market survive that big of a fall and still stay in business? Actually, somebody's correcting me. Commodities market. So what if we do get a 60-70%? Can those companies survive that fall? Can they actually stay in business? I know a lot of those companies, as soon as their value drops, their loans come due in the bank. Their CEOs stop receiving the paychecks that they were receiving. The shareholders start running because they're not interested in a company that brings them nothing into the pocket. So they'll start folding. Can you imagine 100 million, 70 million people going home without a job? How long can government keep out sending support checks before they say, we're done too? And this is going to be like a domino effect across the whole world. Because when dollars start struggling, the whole world starts struggling. Where are we going to go? What's going to happen to us? Where are we going to start getting help from? And then right after that, the food, the most important part of humanity's survival, food and oxygen and water. What if that becomes questionable? And then they use that as a cover-up for something else, why people will start dying. What if all this is a plan and been planned from the beginning, and all they're just going step by step? Do you have a plan out of this? I'll show you guys a little story. When all this COVID started, and I went to Walmart and I started buying propane, uh, propane, and those bottle type stove, the heater that runs on those bottle propane, and all that stuff. And I hear a voice. You're not gonna need it for what you're buying it for, but it will come time where this will be needed for you. In other words, we went through COVID, and I never lit it up that heater, never lit it up that stove, never lit up that lantern. It's sitting on the shelf. But what if I'm right? And what if I'm found to be not stupid and talking about something that nobody even thinks of? We all think all of that is already behind us. We're looking into a beautiful future. And I'm the only fool on YouTube talking about the most craziest crisis that will come. And they might come as early as this fall. I hope I am a fool. I hope I'm not the prophet. And I hope I am wrong. But what if I am not? Are you ready? I do apologize, but at that time, probably Bitcoin, not XRP, not ADA, probably none of them will be able to help us. The only thing will be able to help us is our wisdom and our preparation for that day. Like I already said, there is nobody in the world can manage your money better than you can, because they're yours. Same way, there is nobody better to prepare for crisis than you. But what if crises don't come? When all this COVID started, I had probably about a month to month and a half of supplies at home to get us through just in case. But we never really needed them. So at one point I told my wife, we'll do less shopping and we can start using up some of that stuff that we bought, so it's not sitting on the shelf. But I'll be honest, lately I've been looking at replenishing that supply. Even though it's a little early. But what if this message hits the YouTube in a wrong way? And like you guys remember, the toilet paper disappeared from the store shelves? What if the food? You're not talking about the food that gets expired in 2-3 weeks on the shelf. I'm talking about what if the canned food, the ones that actually last 2, 3, 4 years, just gets wiped out? Then what the price you'll be paying then? Will the XRP price will be increasing fast enough to compensate for the inflation? The inflation that's already happening all over. Just look around. Price is going up. The food is going up. Everything. I'll be honest, a couple months ago, about 2 years ago, I tried to sell a BMW. Actually, it was a nice BMW. Valuable, has a lot of value. The only thing is, I'm in Kentucky. Not very attractive car to most. So I had it on Craigslist for 2 years at $11,000. I couldn't get it sold. But when the chips for the new cars became an issue, and dealers started having less and less cars at the dealership, in 2 years, that car should have lost value. I should have been trying to sell the car at 9 by that time. I had a guy called me up and said, hey, I'm paying you $11.5, $500 more. Can you just hold it for another 24 hours? Gave me extra 500 for an extra 24-hour hold, just for I would not sell it to somebody else. See, demand is created and things are starting to inflate. Dominoes effect has started. And be honest, my brain is just cannot calculate at this point, not enough of data and information to see where it all going to end. But I don't think we're going to be having parties. Let me see. Food is the last precious commodity. Back to the beginning of the survival. Calm yourself, brother. Spot on. All food, everything. Hey guys, thanks at least. You guys supporting me, and then another thing, I'm talking to the screen first, and second of all, I'm not crazy, but we need to be ready. In the worst case scenario, we'll just be eating all that savings that we put in the storage for the next 2 3 years. That's in the worst case scenario. But in the best case scenario, your families will be saved. I'll share one other story. During the COVID, somebody called me and said, "Hey, I'm planning to do a neighborhood soup day." And I said, "Great. So do you have a lot of food saved up?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I can. Me and my family can live off of my savings for a year." And I say, "What if I came with a couple rifles? How much of that you'll give to me?" He says, "I don't know." And I said, "But what if I take it with the force?" He says, "Well, in that case, you'll be in control." See, sometimes the wisest thing is not to show yourself off in the neighborhood that you're the most have the most biggest savings in food. Sometimes it's the quietest one lasts the longest. Just a little tip for the wisdom. I'm not against helping the neighborhood. It's just you have to be smart how you do it. That's all I'm saying. God bless to you all. Be helpful, be friendly, love each other. Because end of the day, we're all here not to fight, but to love. God bless. Uh, Food has been for years manipulated using GMO processing chemical slurs. Yep, yep. Mr. Straight Stacy. If you remember the 1940 famine that happened in Europe and certain parts of the Europe, their goal was is to remove gold from people. So they used fake famine to actually accomplish that. There were towns in Ukraine where people placed their gold on the dining table because there was no food left, went back to their bed, folded their hands, and waited until their body gave out. Yes, this is a messed up world. They'll do whatever to achieve what they want. I wish we as humans could unite and stand against it. But I think we need a lot more than just unitement. God bless. Take care.